And we're live. What's going on, brother?
What's the deal? A lot of bad news lately, you know?
Yeah, man. It seems like it's like no breaks, right?
Yeah.
It just one after the other, and it just, it doesn't stop. This one is a tough one. There's so much. I don't even know how to put it into words. The time that has passed from each individual and the things that happened and went on just makes it like, oof, very, very tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like almost like not saying that someone gave up, but it's almost like what else do I have here? You know? I mean, grandchildren, etc. I know that, but
yeah. It's just it's one of those things because even in speaking to our boy, rest in peace, Tato, Tato always talked about his dad in that sort of way. Like there was always a missing piece of him because he was so close to his father. And even more so, his father was even closer to his daughters, right? They were like really, really tight. So, it's a tough pill to swallow. But I'm trying to look at it from a perspective of it was them three at the start, and they all suffered from the loss, that came, and it's like they just wanted to be together, you know. So, man, everybody tonight, tonight's show. Well, let me pull this up real quick. This shit is just. We're gonna dedicate tonight's show to a family that we grew up with, that we loved, and
friends that became family.
That's it. Tonight's show is going to be dedicated to the loving memory of Mommy Heidi, or Luce, if I'm not mistaken. Heidi Bologna.
Heidi, that's what I used to call
Heidi. And the entire Bologna family. To the daughters, Danya and Jemiah, and the grandchildren. We want to say, we want to send our love and condolences to your family, to you guys, especially in this time, because this is a huge loss. And, I hope that you find some semblance of peace, knowing that these three individuals are now all together. But yeah, tonight's show is dedicated to the loving memory of Mommy Heidi right here. Yeah. Condolences to the whole family, man.
Yeah.
Tough. Real tough.
Yes.
Excuse me. All right, let's switch gears because I don't want to be on that note anymore.
Before we change gears, today's Macho's birthday also. R.I.P. Macho, Louis Nieves. So happy born day. And I want to give my sister, thoughts and prayers. She's going to surgery tomorrow. My older sister, Rosemary. So,
really?
Back surgery. So,
wow.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, salute to the big sis, Rosemary. We wishing you a successful surgery. We know you're going to be good. The Most High has you. Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. This is not your destiny. You're meant to be here for much, much longer. So, our thoughts are with you. And happy born day, wherever you are, brother Macho, man. It seems like just yesterday, man, we were talking on the phone, and then, I heard I come to learn of your passing, but you was always a dude that showed love. And your laughter, and I referred to it when it first happened, man. Your laughter could fill up a room, man. You was always a good brother. So happy born day and rest in peace, brother.
Him and Tato are fishing up there.
What? Two fanatics. For real. Now let's switch it up. Good evening to the regular schmegula, Miss Angelica Reyes, our brother Mr. Benz of the Sunset Park group on Facebook, the big sis Millie Mills in the room. Salute to our brother Eric Medina all the way down in Pensacola, Florida. Mr. Eduardo Quest. I keep saying Eduardo with a G. Terrible. Crazy. Eduardo Crespo down in Jacksonville, Florida. We see you, brother. Man, good to see all the people in the room showing love. And Miss Brianna all the way down from Port St. Lucie. Miss Brianna's of the Gumshoe Weekly podcast, Murder Mystery. Pretty looking pretty good out there. They're making videos now, so it's looking pretty right. So yeah, man. How you feeling?
I'm all right. Hot as fucking boy. Hot as hell, but these summers are short though. These summers are short. You know what I mean? It's only a couple of days. I feel like winters is way longer. Like Definitely. we don't have spring and fall anymore. It's just summer and winter.
There's no in between, right? No middle ground.
No 4 seasons like before.
Nah, not like when we were growing up.
It was like fucking 50 the other day.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I think people don't really recognize the shit that's going on around them because it's so caught up. But the change is coming. You know, people get your 10 toes on the ground and pay attention to what's happening around you. You know, I don't want to get all deep and start, you know, running off on a tangent, but just start paying attention to the shit that's happening around you. That's all I'm gonna say to that. For real. Global warming? Nah. But tonight I'm excited.
With the controllers. Like, listen, motherfuckers coming out of shorts and I'm cold out there.
Yo, dude, it's like you're gonna come out with a ski hat, a fur coat, basketball shorts, galoshes, right? And a wife beater. Shit is berserk. Pretty excited tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally got this couple on the show. We wanted to have them back on in January, February, during the time that we had Belinio Vargas on, who we interviewed for financial literacy. But their schedule didn't permit at the time. That's my story, and I'm going to run with it. Actually, the wife part of this team is not very, she's not very, how should I say? She doesn't like being on camera. But I was able to convince her. We're definitely happy to have them here tonight. So tonight the set welcomes Sunset Park's own Hector and Michelle Mesa of Mesa Team Remax. So we have two of our own from our neighborhood coming on tonight to talk about home ownership, purchasing. I mean, every little detail on what it takes to own a property.
Get y'all questions ready.
Yeah. Everybody in the room, get your questions ready. We're going to open up the phone line if you want to call in. And you know what? I'm going to say this too. We open up the phone lines for you to call in, not for you to get shy. Because everybody be in the room talking wild shit. Nobody want to call. Shit is retarded.
And if you're on my Facebook page following this, go to the YouTube and follow there because I don't see your questions on.
For real. Later. Subscribe to the YouTube page.
Yes.
And tonight we're on Twitch. We're actually broadcasting live on Twitch. Yeah, crazy, right? Before we run the track, I want to give a shout out to our brothers. The Bree Shooters podcast had their first hosting gig for a premiere of a movie that they're, you know, sort of working with. Mm-hmm. They're in a movie by this producer called Daddy of the Year. And they were hosting for the premiere of this movie that same producer shot called Bully. So, you know, shout out to our brothers, the Bree Shooters. You see them here, Chris and Lou, you know, doing what they do. They were hosting, and it looks like they had a really good time.
Yo, Chris, that hat is too tight, bro. You need a bigger hat.
That's a 7 5/8 too.
This is a fucking 8. Go up to a size 8, bro.
You see the vein? You see the vein?
Yo, I can see what you're thinking. I love you, dudes. Good shit.
So salute to them. And I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Again, have your questions ready. We're going to open up the phone lines. Let me just bring this ticker down. So, Sel, what's up? You ready to run this track?
Yeah, I got to give one more.
Please do.
Get well wishes. One of our guys, Luis Baracci, got hurt. He got, I think, hit on a scooter. He was riding a scooter. He's got into a bad accident, and
Wow.
the word is not, he's not doing well. So we need a, little prayer link or whatever it takes to get him home and get him back. So yeah, Louis Parachi.
Louis Parachi, everybody send good energy to the brother so that he makes a speedy recovery and comes out 100%. All right, everybody in the room, send that love. All right, we ready to do this?
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Sally Sassong in the building.
Frisao. And this is the set, 6145. Tonight, we welcome a very special guest, or two guests actually, from Sunset Park, Hector and Michelle Mesa of Mesa Team Remax. And these are two of our own people from Sunset Park. So everybody, show them a lot of love. They coming here to bring information. Get your questions ready. And we're going to start the show shortly. One more thing. So the big homie, Kenny Dope, happy birthday.
Yeah,
Another Sunset Park.
Yo, there's so many birthdays. Like these last few days, my niece had a birthday July 4th. Jimmy, James Morales.
Mm-hmm.
So many people have birthdays in July. I don't know. Y'all people getting that action in September, October. Your parents was getting that action.
Yeah, you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't make mention of this. Salute to our brother, James Morales. Happy born day, brother. He's now in Abuelo. So salute to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep your fitness going, brother, and taking care of yourself.
Paulie, there's so many birthdays. My brother-in-law, Frankie.
Jesus.
Getting that action September, October, boy.
Laying it down, son. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here tonight, you're here to see the Mesa team. You're gonna have your questions, shoot them in the room, but I'm gonna open up the phone lines. So you can definitely call in if you're feeling froggy. We would appreciate it because we love the interaction. Before we start the show, I want to say salute to my baby sister, Ms. Zenobia Mercado, and to my son fools, Josiah and Ace at the Oseju. Behave yourself. All right. So tonight, without further ado, let me switch this up real quick. We're going to bring in the Mesa team from Sunset Park, Brooklyn. The set welcomes Michelle and Hector Mesa. Yo.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for being here, most of all, because we understand, one, time is money, and two, not everybody has that bandwidth to take out the time and share information. So we really appreciate you guys coming on the show and wanting to help everybody get a full understanding of what it means or what you need to do in order to purchase a home. So we really appreciate you guys making the time for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So let's start from the top, as we always do. So you guys, let's start with the obvious. How long have you two been married?
Oh my God, 25 years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 25 years. So now when you guys get together, is this the business and or work that you guys are doing from the start? Or is this something that as time goes on, there's a transition?
Well, for us is that we're both two like-minded folks. We like the same things. We like making money. We like investing. We like, decoring. We like to tear things down and bring them back up again. So for us, it's just like a match made in heaven. One thing for sure, I work with her 24 hours a day, about 7 days a week. One of the best things for me is that I get to work with my best friend.
And we get this question all the time. Like, how do you guys work with each other all day long? I mean, we're just like every other couple.
Yep.
We have our bad days, but the majority of it, we actually enjoy working together and we work well together. And we feed off of each other's energy. Yep. So pretty much we in business, we're totally opposite. I tend to take more of the management as far as the team and the marketing. He takes more of...
I'm the closer.
Yeah, he's the closer.
The finisher.
I have a question.
Wait. So let me say something before you let it off. Don't lose your train of thought. Esta tipa no quieras hablar, está nerviosa. Mira, she's off to the races. I knew she was gonna get comfortable.
0 to 100.
Hold on.
Surprise, motherfucker.
All right, go ahead. So my bad.
Go ahead.
So Michelle and Hector, what did you do before real estate, and what made you get into the real estate?
Wow. One thing for sure, before real estate, we did all kinds of
We actually owned our own company online.
We were always entrepreneurs right off the bat. My family always owned real estate, and that for me was the biggest and the most important thing growing up when you're in your own home. And for me, that was always something that I wanted everybody to have. And so growing up, we went from selling stuff online, and it got to the point where we decided to change the product from now selling products online that we actually were selling real estate. And it's something that has been giving us a bunch of joy for years, and that we just kept going at it.
And actually, Hector got licensed 9 years before I did. But for those 9 years, I actually was doing mortgages.
Okay.
So I was actually also closing deals with attorney as a translator for those attorneys that did not speak Spanish. So I was like, you know what? Why should I work for the next person for this? I just get my license, go work for Hector, and that's how we started our team, actually.
Sí, habla español.
Yep.
There you go.
Español.
It came very well for evictions, let me tell you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wanna speak to something that you guys said. Working together, you guys actually enjoy it. You enjoy being around each other. And the reason why I want to speak to that briefly is because nowadays, relationships or being in committed relationships, no matter what the dynamic, it's not something that's celebrated. Nowadays people are more about in this individualism and, I don't need a woman, or I don't need a man. And I think it's detrimental to us as a people, right? We need women and men to be together to bring forth more generations, right? And raise up good people. So I just want to say, I really appreciate the fact that you guys can be so honest about your relationship, how you enjoy working with each other, because I feel it's something that we need to not only see and hear, but it needs to be out on the forefront. People need to start absorbing that, So salute to you guys for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now you both have an entrepreneurial spirit. You guys had your businesses. You transfer over into selling real estate. Michelle's doing mortgages and using her bilingual capabilities to sort of help her in her endeavors. And Hector, you're the natural closer. So at what point does it all start to make sense for you guys to sort of become like an incorporated unit, where it's you and your wife, like you guys are saying, all right, this is us. We're going to build a foundation and build this company outward?
Oh, that happened early on,
Yeah.
early on, right off the bat. We realized that this is what we like to do, and we're not gonna work for the next man. We want to do things our way. And we always had a pushback when working for the next man. The hourly thing for us, we work at home. We have our daughters, our admin. We work together, and our team is our family pretty much. So that's the entrepreneurial spirit. We know what we want to do, and we want to get it done.
Like early on, we already knew that we liked it on real estate. So pretty much what we did was that we actually got to learn the mortgage aspect of it, so we could be able to service our clients better. We started working hand in hand with attorneys, so we could be able to know what happens at a closing table. So we learned the eviction process. Unfortunately, 2009 was like a really bad year for a lot of people, and they lost their homes. We had no choice but to learn how to actually help them stay in their homes. We started doing modifications. We started doing short sales. So, pretty much we just started learning every curve there was. And I said, you know what? Real estate is going to be 100% our go-to business, because it just worked for us. And, and taking it a little bit on the side, I started having some health issues at that time, and it made it much easier, and it made sense for me to not have to wake up and go work for someone for that, I just take the time and work for myself and be able to also work for myself and be able to still bring money home and have him support me on those days that I couldn't get out of bed. You know, for a lot of you guys that don't know, I do have kidney malformation that does cause seizures, and I'm also diabetic. So that came into play also because it really prevented me to actually work for the next man. So I did not want to be that person that just lay back and just, you know, give up on life. I just said, you know what, this is what the curveball that was thrown at me. So I'm just going to make what's the best of it. He was already into real estate. So I said, you know what, might as well just join him and support his dream.
And one thing for us that has, you know, made us stronger as a team or even as a husband and wife, we adapt. As we already know, there's many different types of real estate cycles. Back in 2005, 6, and 7 was a market crash. When the market crash happened, banks were giving away mortgages to people who really couldn't afford them. And then when that happened, the foreclosures and short sale process. So we've adapted our business to help support people who are in those situations, and we maximize. Just like what we just finished passing off on this COVID thing, right? A lot of business was shutting down and closing down, but the ones who actually succeeded were the ones who adapted to the current times, and those are the ones who are succeeding now. All right, you have your Lyfts, you have your Ubers, right? Nobody was taking them, but all of a sudden now you have Uber Eats. And so what we did is that we adapted our business to the current market. We went from Michelle doing mortgages also as well, from us helping people sell, for us also investing in properties, and we flip homes also ourselves. So we've been to every aspect and even relocating. So one of the things that what we bring to the table to help people is that we've been there, we've done it ourselves. Let me help you go ahead and do it. Watch, this is how we do it.
Nice.
I also wanted to mention that throughout COVID, we actually also, it was very difficult for us to show homes because of COVID. And, you know, we were like, okay, how do we actually still continue our business if we physically can't show homes? So we actually ended up creating our own company,
our
which
own
now,
photography company,
now we own our
did
own
3D
photography
virtual tours. So we were still able to do virtual tour or virtual open houses, still continue to show houses during the whole COVID. And you know, I mean, don't mean to toot our horn, but during the COVID aspect, our business was actually growing, and that's all the things what we're talking about. You adapt. You're given lemons, you make lemonades right off the bat. If not, then if you're given mint, then you make some mojitos.
Listen, and I would tell you this: when we have realtors actually reach out to us and be like, "How you guys are still selling homes when we can't even show homes?" I said, "You know what?
Mind your damn business."
You know, I was like, "You got to figure it out. You can't just wait for life to happen to you." So we said, "You know what? Let's just open up photography. This is our green light to now elevate to the next chapter, and actually helps us service our clients and our team as well. They benefit from us now owning our own photography studio."
Yep.
No,
so we were able to showcase sellers' homes without having buyers actually step foot into the property.
It's amazing that the way you guys speak of that, because it's life. You know, life, you gotta adjust. You know, you get dealt bad cards sometimes, and you gotta move forward. So, Michelle, we're glad. We hope your health is fine and better. And you know, I know your sick calls were like this. Babe, I'm calling out sick. I'm going back to sleep and turning over.
Yes, she does. I'm not coming to work. What are you?
Turning over in bed. Yeah, I'm not coming in. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, whenever somebody tells you they're camera shy, doesn't like speaking, don't believe them.
Don't believe the hype. Yeah.
Not, because I know these two for quite some time. And I know that, you know, with all that they've put into their business, that there's no way that once we opened up the conversation that the information wasn't going to start flooding out. And it's just a comfort level because they've done it for so long. So let's get down to it now. What are one of the biggest apprehensions for first-time home buyers when they're coming to the table with you guys? Is it credit? Is it, you know, down payment? What are one of the biggest, you know, obstacles for new home buyers?
I think it's misguided information. A lot of people don't know what they really need.
For me, it's a lot of things. It's miseducation, right? Or it's lack of education. Not to say anything bad about it, but there's so much information out there online that in essence, we are the gatekeepers of the information and the interpreters of the information. Like, I sit down with first-time home buyers or buyers who will tell me, hey, listen, Hector, I'm thinking about purchasing a home within the next 2 or 3 years. What do I got to do today to make sure I get to that point? After a consultation with them, it turns out that they're ready to purchase right then and there. And we were able to get them into a home within 4 months, and they were completely ecstatic. So my thing is that it's education. First of all, the industry changes, the banking rules and regulation changes, the market changes. We have different cycles in the markets, whether it's a seller's market or a buyer market. One of the biggest, for me, the biggest myth of first-time home buyers is, oh, I need 20%. No, you don't. You need 3.5% of the purchase price to get your foot in the door. Oh, I need a 700 or 800 credit score. No, the minimum credit score right now that you need is 640. And sometimes you might be able to get a loan with the lower credit scores. So it's our job to educate people, to get more people into home ownership. That's how this market or this industry or life in general is better for everybody involved, because more people are buying houses. More mortgages are being put out there. More industry leaders are getting jobs, and just better all for the economy. So we actually have first-time homebuyer seminars. We've had our first one recently last month. It was a huge success. We're also looking to have them, periodically, just to be able to put out information. We have a ton of information also on our website. If people want to, we offer free homebuyer consultations. Sit down, talk to us. But we're here right now, and one of the biggest myths: credit scores.
And down payment.
People feel that they need the top A-tier credit scores. They feel that they need 20%. No, you don't. They feel that they need, to have, excellent credit. Listen, talk to us. Talk to us. If you got questions right now, call up right now. Put your questions out there. We'll go ahead and answer them for you.
I think Hector and Michelle, could you sort of expound or explain better for the audience? Because the factors that you just named, credit score, down payment, and so on, could you sort of delve into it and explain why somebody wouldn't need a 700 or 800 credit score, and why they don't actually need 20%? You can get away with 3.5. Okay. And also, what is the upside and what is the downside to entering into a home under those circumstances?
Okay, great. I'm glad you asked that question, because that's the premise of home ownership right off the bat. Yes, it's true. 20% is good, but it's not needed. Okay. One thing that I tell buyers when they're looking to dive into home ownership is to get qualified through a bank, a reputable bank. It could be Chase, it could be HSBC, but those are big box banks. All they're doing is pretty much they're going to offer you the loans or the products that they offer. But if you sit down and talk to a mortgage professional, they'll be able to take your scenario or your application and shop it around to all the other banks and get you the best possible loan product for what you need. Now, we talk about loan products. There's several different types. One of the things I've asked, I just try to gauge people's education on this process. We have a VA, FHA, conventional, 203K, right? All rehab loans. All those are different types of loan, and they're made for different aspects. VA, which is called the veterans loan, which is for our veterans out there. Thank you guys for your service very much. And the government actually could give you 106% of the loan product for you to purchase. You don't need any money.
Wow.
Right? You could put down $5,000 and you get money for your closing costs. That's great. Not that many people know about this, but our service people should be knowing about it. We're experts on that. Also, we've helped dozens of people get into home ownership with that product. And it's difficult because not a lot of agents out there on the opposing side know about it. So
or
again,
do they want to service them because they don't know how to do the paperwork?
It's education about that. Now we move on to the next one, which is called an FHA, which is Federal Housing Administration. It's a federally backed loan. Every bank can give one of these, and it's most common as the first-time home buyer's loan, right? But in essence, anybody can purchase it.
You don't even have to be a first-time buyer.
What is the definition of a first-time home buyer? If you have not owned a home within the last 3 years. You could have owned a home, sold it, or had a foreclosure, short-sailed. And if you haven't owned that home in 3 years, you're right back into the FHA world. Now, with the FHA, it's a cookie cutter that every bank has it. And what they do is that they will originate the loan and sell it to the federal government. Okay. Now, this here is you could purchase with as little as 3.5% of the purchase price. Okay. 3.5%. Now, with that being said, that's great. And your credit scores with, again, I am not a mortgage professional, but we've done this hundreds of times that I'm able to speak on it. I do recommend speaking with a mortgage professional on it, but I have this conversation with our clients to be able to gauge where they're at and I'll be able to point them to the right lender to be able to get them in there. And then we have our conventional loans. Conventional loans we could start off with about 5% up to 20%. Now, when you drop 20%, the biggest perk about it is that you don't have to pay PMI. Which is mortgage insurance.
Wait, Hector. Could you the letters PMI? Can you give the acronym? Could you explain to everybody what
Principal Mortgage Insurance?
Okay.
PMI. It's insurance. Anything under 20% of the value of the home is considered a little bit on the riskier side. So the banks. The government is giving them like a little insurance policy, but the borrower has to pay for it.
I see. Okay.
Now,
downside to not putting 20%.
Exactly.
That's the only downside. But with the interest rates they are right now, where they're hovering a little bit below 3%, again, if you have great credit scores and debt to income ratios, you will be good. The riskier or the lower your credit scores are, they're going to offer you a higher interest rate because you are more riskier loan. But that's nothing to say because you can still get your foot into it, right? I know I just saw a question out there.
I've been reading all the questions.
What is a debt to income ratio? Now,
you guys are bouncing. Every time somebody asks a question, you're either getting into it or you lose it in the next
there you go. Good. So now let's go ahead and talk about that, right?
Yeah, yes, I'm looking at the questions.
When a bank, again, I'm not a mortgage professional, but I bought and sold many homes myself and have helped hundreds of people go ahead and do so. The debt to income ratio, how a bank verifies or lets you know how much you can borrow against, they have a number or an algorithm which they go against, which they find out how much you can technically afford for housing. Now, when we talk about housing,
I have to interrupt you. I have to ask you, because with what you just set up, right? People understand what he's saying is when you go into a bank to go purchase a home and you're trying to get a loan product from them, they're looking at everything. They're looking at your credit score. They're looking at your income. They're looking at your bills, what you have out there already, like car loans and credit debt and all that, right? Yep. So when they analyze that, they go, okay, this person has this much debt. This is their credit score. This is their annual income. This is what they can afford to buy. They can afford to have a $300,000 mortgage. They can afford to have a $225,000, whatever that is. That's how that is put together for you as the customer. My question to you is, does walking in with 20% put you in a better spot when you're buying a home that may or may not be in your range, so to speak, financially?
It all comes down to what you can or what the bank is able to lend you. Okay. It's the same. It's the same scenario where we're putting 3.5% down or 20% down, because let's just break this down, right? If the bank is able, because of your criteria, right? Your debt, your income. Let's just use our 1099ers, okay? Our bodega owners, our business owners, our independent contractors out there versus the W-2. Now I know I'm getting into a whole realm of mortgage stuff here, but when we do W-2s, you get a W-2 at the end of the year. They already tell you what you make on a yearly basis, and they take your taxes out. Okay, so you already know. So they already know, and they take that number and they have a percentage, what they feel that what you can actually use towards housing. Now, you could make $100,000 a year, but if your debts add up to $90,000 a year, your income is really just $10,000 a year. Guys, let me just say that again. You could be making $100,000 a year, but if you have debts that add up to $90,000 a year, your income is, or your stated income is $10,000. So could you afford a home with $10,000?
Tell Michelle to stop buying all those shoes and purses.
So, and I know this is something that our W-2s, our business owners, and I know we have a lot of business owners probably out there on the air today. So if you are looking to purchase something, and this is one of the conversations that we do have a lot, that you may have to start planning 2 years ahead of time to be able to purchase your first home.
Especially those that are leasing cars.
That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. You W-2ers, right? So if you're making $100,000 and you got a car of the year drive sitting in the street right there, that right there is a big debt on a monthly basis. If you got credit card debt up the wazoo, then that also brings down your affordability.
Right.
Okay, so that's also something to take a look at. As a rule of thumb, yes, it's good to have a lot of credit, available credit,
right,
versus credit utilization, right? If you have available to you $10,000 worth of credit, but you owe $8,000, you're a high risk.
Right.
They won't even give you a job at the bank.
Hector, I want to piggyback over something you said right now. What about someone like, let's say someone's on disability and they want to purchase, they don't pay taxes, and they want to buy a home for the first time. How does that work?
Now, let's just go back down to the affordability index. They have steady income, bona fide, provable income. All right. They may not have much debt, but what can they afford with that income? They could qualify. I have people who are purchasing who are SSI. They have all this retirement, all this information, but they have steady income, bona fide. Right. So what they do is now we take into what they can afford. Let's just say a person like that, they're able to borrow $100,000. Okay. So now this brings up to my next aspect of my buyer consultation is how much is the bank able to lend you? Okay. So let's just say you, with your down payment, you're able to purchase $300,000. Okay. With the market, or today's market, we are seeing a seller's market, which is a fierce seller's market. Okay. So we have Brooklyn. We're licensed. So we do real estate in Brooklyn, Staten Island, and in New Jersey. All three very different markets.
Centers.
Brooklyn, it's like you really can't touch it. The minimum price for in Sunset right now it's in the millions. You might be able to find something under $1 million, but you're going to need about $300,000 worth of money to be able to bring it up to be able to be habitable. Okay. Right. So now let's take that. Most folks are being priced out of the area because of the current market that we're at. When I sit down and talk to clients and say they want to be able to purchase, I tell them, okay, in any industry, there's three things when it comes to purchasing a home: how much of the home that you could afford, the kind of home, and where you're going to find it. You could tell me two of them, and the market's going to tell you where the third is.
They might not like where you're going to
They
find
may not
it.
like the third one. But the market dictates where the third one is every time, hands down. You know how much you could afford. You know if you need a 3-bedroom attached, you need a garage, basement, backyard, and the market's going to tell you where you're going to find it. It's either Staten Island, New Jersey, North Carolina, or maybe even Florida. And sometimes that's the biggest learning curve. And this is what we help people make this decision. When you're thinking about home ownership, start preparing now. Have a conversation with a realtor first off to get you set up so that you could now have that conversation with the banker. We'll tell you what you need. You need W-2s. You need your tax returns for the last 2 years, at least 3 months of bank statements, and your pay stubs. That's all you need. And it's free. You can step into any bank, talk to any mortgage broker, and they will give you a pre-qualification and run your numbers absolutely free. It's not going to charge you a dime. If they are, come call me because that shouldn't be.
I love the way he says that. It's just this, and this. That's a lot of personal information. Like you
it's
can
a lot, but we have higher consultations that
Yeah.
could take like almost 3 hours explaining from point A to point Z, because it's a lot. Everybody's situation is different.
right.
You know, some people talk about titles, some people talk about deeds. You know, so everybody's different.
Yeah, every situation is completely different. There's so many different variables that can happen or take place, right? Now,
Right.
we're just talking about buying a home, right? Let's just say, what if you have to sell a home or sell a family home to buy a home, right? You got siblings that are in there. So that throws in a whole other big mix to it. So we want to keep this right, keep this here.
So you know what?
Purchasing.
We're gonna do a purchase,
We
and then
will
we'll
do-
come back and do a seller.
On the next one, we'll
There
go
you
ahead
go.
and talk about selling a home to be able to purchase. We'll keep it simple this time on buying a home. Now, I know I've been doing a lot of talking out there. If anybody else has questions,
I've been reading the questions.
you've been reading questions?
Yeah.
All right, so let me see. What are some of the questions that we got?
Pretty much
Oh.
most of it we answered it, which was the 3.5%. Is that a conventional loan? No, that's an FHA loan.
Yeah.
Conventional loans are 5%. That was easy.
Depending on credit and debt to
Exactly.
income ratios.
I know Millie had a question. She wanted to know. I'm trying to find it.
Hey, Millie.
Here she goes. Should she, once she retires at 62, should I buy a home or a condo?
62. There may be
Yeah.
different options. Okay, you're retiring. What's going to
Get your ass in the old retirement home.
The
Now-
community, the senior citizens community.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
would not recommend a condo at 62.
Because
I
you
mean,
got your HOAs, you got your maintenance. But then again, it may be a good thing because those are things
It
that you
depends
don't
what her
have
needs
to
are.
take care of anymore.
So
right?
it pretty much comes down to what your needs are. You know, I mean, condos are less maintenance. If you do want to do work, like I'm talking about like cutting grass and, you know, watering your flowers, then go for a house. You avoid the HOAs. But it depends what you really want to do at 62. Do you really want to be stuck in a condo paying HOA fees? You know,
HOA stands for Homeowners Association. For those who don't know, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Sally Sassong in the building.
and today we're speaking to Mr. Hector and Miss Michelle Mesa of Mesa Team Remax, and they're giving all the situations and all pointers pointing to home ownership and purchasing your first home. Everybody who has questions, keep firing them off. The phone line is open if you want to call. I want to go back again because everybody's situation is different, right? So now a person comes in, they're at a 630 credit score. Their debt to income ratio is pretty fair, right? And they're having problems because they got 3% or 3.5. Maybe they don't have closing, or like why don't you guys explain like who's responsible for what, and are there any programs that could help assist a first-time home buyer?
Okay. Yes, they are. And they're not programs. They're just scenarios. So now let's just say if somebody has their down payment money and do not have enough for closing costs, there is a situation that is called a seller's concession or seller's assist, or some folks may even say, can the seller pay for my closing costs? Well, in essence, they do pay for it, but you're paying for it. Okay. A seller's concession, let's just say you're purchasing a home for $300,000 and the closing costs are $15,000, but you only have enough money for your down payment. So what's going to happen now is that instead of borrowing $300,000, you're going to be borrowing $315,000, giving it to the seller, and the seller has to consent to give it back to you so that you could pay your closing costs. They call it a seller's concession or a seller's assist because the seller
has to agree to it,
paying it back, and he has to agree with it. Now, because the seller has to pay higher taxes on the higher sales price. So the sale of the home is not going to be recorded at $300,000, but it will be recorded at $315,000. And the property has to appraise for it in this current market. And in this current market, when there's over 25 offers on a property and buyers are going, the bids are going well above asking price, it doesn't seem like a very attractive. But I do recall a market where seller's concessions was the thing that was happening. That was, if you had a home to sell and nobody would want to buy it, then hey, you would get it by helping the buyer out to be able to go ahead and purchase. Now, I know nobody has probably added this, but this rent to buy option.
Yeah, we get those phone calls all the time.
I get it a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a good product, but there's many different scenarios when it comes to that. In this market right now, and there's a plethora of buyers for each individual home that's out there, a seller's not going to be opted into renting it out to you and with the hopes of a future sale. Now, once you get into this rent with option to buy, at the time that you go ahead and rent, you identify the price that you're paying for the property. It may not work for the homeowner at that time because let's just say the values of the homes are increasingly at a great rate right about now. So whatever they deem to the sales price to be, it has to be now. And supposedly a portion of your rent is going to be going to your down payment. So in essence, that works more for a buyer's market when there's more buyers than houses for sale.
Because if you were to do something like that right now in the seller's market, you'd be overpaying for this property at this point.
Yeah,
it makes no sense for you to do that now. It's a seller's market right now. Sellers are getting above asking price. You do not want to get into option to buy in the seller's market, because 2 years from now, that house is not even going to be worth that.
Now,
you're still in contract for that market fair value when you first signed that contract with an attorney for that price.
Yep. Now we just have a couple of other questions too. Angelica mentioned, do we have clients that live in other states? Well, actually,
oh my God, that's the majority of our clients.
We've done the move ourselves from Sunset to Staten Island and into New Jersey. So we have that flow. That's just the move. People moving around from Brooklyn, Staten Island, either they go to New Jersey or they go to Florida. Yeah, so we help service people all over the place. Either they're moving from New Jersey back to Staten Island, from Brooklyn to Staten Island, or Brooklyn, New Jersey. So we have clients all over the place. And every state, every different marketplace has a whole set of different other rules. And so you're definitely going to want to have a team that knows and has done it themselves and have helped hundreds of people go ahead and make that process also.
Yeah, because we actually, we pretty much specialize in relocation.
Yep. Another question. Now, can somebody use their 401k or 401b to purchase a home at 55? Okay, but I know for sure that if you have a retirement fund, 401k or 401b, you may be able to borrow against it for a down payment or for closing cost assistance. You may have to bring to them a copy of a contract that once you're in contract, bring it to the union and they'll be able to write you off a check. But check with your union on the different tax payments or the tax brackets on those things. Is it possible? Yes. I have clients right now that are borrowing against this to be able to pay for the closing costs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have a question. Going back to the first time buyers, right? FHA or conventional, which one would you consider would be the best for a first-time buyer? And if I want to get into a business of like flipping houses, how does something like that? How do I get into some type of, how does that work?
Okay, so
first you gotta get licensed.
Well, no, not necessarily.
No,
if you want to
look
flip,
at this one.
If I'm looking to invest,
He wants to know how he becomes a real estate agent.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll touch up on the questions as they come in.
Yeah,
All right,
dude's
what
got aspirations of being real estate agents already, because you listen to these two talk and it's just like, yo, I want to do this shit too. I'm gonna start selling
and that's
houses
another
too.
misconception, because a lot of people think, oh, it's just getting a buyer and we're just going to shop them. They don't see what we do behind the scenes. We're negotiating home inspections. We're negotiating deals with the seller. You know, our whole thing is we're the glue that keeps it all together, because I could show you a home today. We could do a home inspection tomorrow, and then you get cold feet because you're like, you know what? This is not for me. I got to go back and try to negotiate everything that was on that home inspection that you did not feel comfortable. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of marketing that, you know, we have to put in to sell a home.
I will say this, that being a real estate agent is a business. You're opening up a business right off the bat. It's no cup of tea. It's no walk in the park. It's a business. So you have to have your business sense to be able to survive in this business. You have to have at least 2 years upfront costs in your pocket to be able to survive. Your first 2 years are going to be the worst years. I'm not putting it out there because
I'd rather be honest.
I'd rather be honest. I'm not gonna code it like easy. Everything that we're able to spit knowledge out to everybody here, we've gone through it. And we've had clients go through it also as well. So this is a business. It's either you have business parts or you don't. It's not cut out for everybody.
Yeah, like if you're gonna get your real estate license and you think you're gonna close a deal in 3 months and you're gonna be rich, no. So it doesn't happen that way. You get what you put into it. So now, we've been doing this for 25 years. So we've put in a lot of work into this. And when an agent calls me and tells me, oh, I want to get licensed, I'm like, okay, do you have 2 years to actually pay for all your marketing? Because it does take a lot. You know, it's a lot expensive. We have MLSs. We actually belong to six MLSs.
It's a business. So there is upfront costs, licensing and the learning curve. All right, but that's a whole other topic. But I want to touch up on Sully's questions there. FHA, conventional, or what do you want? What do you have to do to flip homes? Right. FHA versus conventional. I hear sometimes maybe an FHA may be a better loan product because of the terms and the interest rates involved on it. A conventional loan may be good, but they may have different loan products that may work for you, depending what your scenario is and what may work for you. Okay, so that's why I suggest we sit down and we talk to go over your scenario and tailor the loan product towards you, right? Because when you sit down with the loan officer, they're going to take your loan and shop it around and say, this is going to be the options that you have available for you. You can go this, but I recommend the FHA because the interest rates are lower up front, even though you may have a PMI that you have to pay on a monthly basis. But after 4 or 5 years, once the debt to income, once the loan to value drops under 20%, you may be able to refinance or to reset your loan with your bank to bump off that PMI mortgage, that PMI payment on a monthly basis. And sometimes that can equal up to about $300 a month, $300 to $200 a month, depending where your criteria stands. Now, if you want to purchase a home to flip, cash is king.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to have a house on the market.
If you tell me that you want to buy a fixer-upper for yourself, okay, now we got some options. Right. You have a 203K loan or a rehab loan. Okay. They're not synonymous in this market right now, but they are available. A 203K loan, which is going to be, the bank is going to give you the money to buy the house, and it's going to give you the money to fix the house. Right? So that's a sweet deal. Yeah, so you get it contracted, you pay them, and you get that work done for you. Now I know there's several questions that came through.
So what is the biggest mistake first-time buyers make? And what is the most important advice you could give them? Call us.
Call us.
Call the Mesa team.
Give them the number. Give them the number.
One is don't go out and don't start and get a car of the year leased.
That's the first thing.
I had a customer who we were just about to close, and he opens up a Home Depot credit card and buys a fence. He buys appliances.
$10,000 of credit overnight.
So at the closing table, it was excuse my language, it was a shit show. You know, his mortgage payments went up almost $1,000 because of that. So when your banker tells you don't do nothing, don't make big deposits into your bank account, don't take out money from your bank account, don't pay off a credit card, don't close a credit card, keep everything like that, don't make any big moves. That's one of the things, right?
And don't buy a car.
And don't buy a car, please. I talk with some first-time home buyers, and I see them drive up with a brand new Escalade. I was like, okay.
I was like,
I know where this is gonna go.
I was like, I hope this belongs to somebody else. And he was like, no, I just got it, and it was like $80,000. I looked at Hector. I said, yeah, we're not closing today.
Yeah. So I recommend that you keep status quo. Once you sit down and talk to your mortgage professional, even they're going to tell you, don't make no big deposits. Don't make no big withdrawals. Don't make no big purchases. Don't put anything on your credit card. If you're going to buy cash, and listen to everybody on your team. All right. So that's for the first time home buyers right off the bat. Sometimes we could talk to folks till we're blue in the face. But you know, you don't want your mortgage to jump up $1,000 a month, and that's going to
where is the Mesa team's clientele mostly? Is it Zillow? Is it friend of people?
It's fear. It's fear of influence.
Pretty much 85% of our business is actually family and friends. We've been pretty much at that consistent number, like 9 years now, 10 years?
We've been blessed. We know a lot of people. And so once we keep in touch with our database. I always say that your database is your gold mine. You guys, Sunset Park is one of our biggest referrers of clientele, whether they're still in there. Thank you. There you go. All right. Either they come in there, they're moving into Staten Island or moving out of Staten Island.
And I will say that Sunset Park has been very generous, especially with referrals.
And of course, you treat people right, and they're going to want to recommend their family. We have clientele right now that we've done we help them sell a house, buy a house, their kids sell a house, buy a house, and the whole family.
Because when they deal with us, we have to realize, first of all, where the referral came from. So if I get a phone call, I want to treat everyone with white glove service. I don't care if it was referred from a website or it was referred from someone that I know in Sunset Park. They all have to be treated equally. And I'd rather not get a deal done if it's going to ruin our reputation. So at the end of the day, I need to sleep and make sure that if you first of all, this is like the biggest thing, your investment is buying a home. We want to make sure that we could sleep at night knowing that we actually did everything possibly in to get you the best home possible at the best rate.
Yeah.
So once you deal with us and you like our service, you're gonna be like, listen, they took care of me, they explained everything to me. They held me through my hand. Some people need to be held through their hand. Some people be like, listen, I trust you guys because I've worked with several people and they already know. So I'll just pick anybody you tell me. I'm like, no. You have to see the home. You have to, be out there as well. We do home inspections and, the buyers don't even want to go because they trust us at that point. So once you build that relationship, you always going to have referral business coming back to you. Yeah. Always.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you realize, but the Mesa team really took over the show. They're reading questions in the room. We just sitting back.
Wait, I got some more up here too.
Cálmate, chico.
The Mesa set.
But all the information that's being shared tonight, I hope everybody's paying attention. You're never too old to learn, right?
No.
So we should also continue to evolve as we get older and taking this information and putting it to use. And then not only that, but the Mesa team is giving us their time, which is valuable, right? And now you have a point of reference. You may be considering, at our age to buy another home. You may be considering helping your children purchase a home or a condo, whatever it may be. Now you have a point of reference. You can reach out to this team. And like Michelle said, white glove service. When you service your clients on a personable, like, I'm going to take care of these people approach, those people are not only going to stay with you, not only become repeat customers, but they're also going to bring other people along because of the service that they receive. And, you know, as you can see, they've been in this business so long, it's for a reason, right? So with that said,
Mr. A, real quick, when
Shoot.
Michelle said white glove service, I got nervous. I just like
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, surprise! You know, and
I was thinking the same thing.
I have to chime in on this also as well. And I know this is the set, starting setting up in Sunset Park. And one thing, growing up there, and I have a lot of roots out there. I have family. I still have real estate out there. And so this is very important to me and to the clientele that's out there. Sunset Park and in the households that are there are multi-generational. Okay. And so we have, and that comes with many situational problems that can happen. People want to move on, people can. All right. And that's one thing for sure. And we have helped many people in those situations where we have helped move whole families. Okay. I've seen families sell their home and give their kids their seed money for down payment. And we have moved whole generations. Okay. And I know that's something that's out there. It's out there, and I'm going to put it out there because I don't sugarcoat anything. For anybody who's going situations like that, I know we're talking to several folks right now who are going to certain situations that, and sometimes you need to prepare the family up front for the future happenings. So if you have parents who own real estate and they don't know what they're doing, or if you're concerned about what's going to be happening to the family inheritance, call us, talk to us. There's a solution. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
okay?
I want to talk about elderly care, but that's a whole topic by itself. Okay. And, you know, like Hector said, there's a lot of, even for us, because, you know, we have my father-in-law who owns a home as well. And, there, you know, there's a lot of equity in those homes. There's so much stuff that he could actually do with those homes. But a lot of older people don't know the equity that they have and, you know, the stuff that they could actually do with their homes. And as they get older, health issues, you also got to be careful with those properties, because if you don't have them in a certain trust, and God forbid something happens to you, I'd rather, and I've seen several clients do this where they don't even have wills. They even tell me that, hey, listen, Hector, I'd rather see my kids flourish in life than have to see them struggling after death. We'll put that out there. Again, we are a source or resource, a wealth of information for you guys. We're going to be leaving our contact information on the YouTube channel here. Reach out to us. Our website is www.mesaforhomes.com, MESA, the number 4, HOMES.com. We're readily available up on Facebook also as well. We're here to service you guys. This is what we do. You know the saying that they say, once you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And that's how we feel. So
y si habla español también.
Y se habla español también.
I wanna ask for an explanation. Everybody in the room, man, salute to everybody that's here. There's people that are asking questions, but there are people that are having conversations within, you know, the chat itself.
Within the chat itself. Go ahead, let's read some questions if you want.
No, but wait. I want to go back to something that Michelle pointed to. You guys were touching this topic, and I think that it's something worth explaining. Somebody who's in their 60s, almost 70s, has had this home within the family generationally, like you were saying, Hector. He doesn't want them to see. He doesn't want to see them struggle in life. Why would he want to see them struggle in death? But there's one key word that Michelle brought up. And she said sometimes they don't even know that they have equity in these homes. Can you explain or expound on equity and how you can use that as an advantage?
Excellent. Great. I was actually going to be going there. When we talk about equity, most of the times on these multi-generational homes, and you just think about this, right? In Sunset, most of our heritage came into Sunset 30, 40, 50 years ago. They've been in these homes since then. And the majority of these people don't have a mortgage. In essence, the value of their home minus the debt service is pure equity, is a check that could be they could walk away with. When we mean that, a lot of these folks and their families are house poor. They're in their home. They're living life as they normally would, sitting on a gold mine, but not having money in their hands. Okay? Or to be able to help. Yes. Can they pull out a line of equity, take out a mortgage, another mortgage on the house? Then the house is going to have to pay it off, and so you're using your house as a credit card. That's not the right way to use it. Okay, so equity is the amount of the value of the home minus the debt service. When I mean debt service, we're talking about the loan. So if there is no loan on the home, that's pure equity, and equity is change in the bank.
Yeah, like we have a client right now. What is his house? 1.8, and he only owes like $80,000. So it's like.
Or I have another one is 1.8 and no 1.5, and there is no loan.
And there's no loan.
So there is different things that a family can do, and unfortunately, we get those conversations or phone calls after the fact. All right, I want to educate everybody out there. Let's see if we could proactively get everybody into some type of home ownership now.
I'm glad, I don't want to be melancholy or bring everybody down in the room, but I think that, after what you guys just stated, is something that needs to be heard. And especially for us, people of color, we're financially illiterate for so many years of our lives. We come from the grit and the grime of the city, right? None of us grew up with a silver spoon in our mouths. Some of us were luckier to have things that others didn't. But the reason why I say that is because right now, with all the losses that we've been experiencing, it had gotten me thinking very hard. And I've gone forward to start planning my life insurance and so on, but more so with me trying to leverage that life insurance so that, God forbid, the day that it comes for me to check out, my wife and my kids don't have to worry about whatever debt is left behind, right? And I think that people today, especially us, need to really take a serious look at these products to sort of not only secure them, but maybe even give them a leg up. And it may financially cost you right now, but you can't put a price on your children or your wife's security after you're gone.
Or peace of mind.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I would implore everybody, if you don't got your life insurance in line, if you don't have something there that's going to take care of your loved ones after you're gone and put them in the position that all they got to think is, damn, Papi's gone, but we're going to have his services there because I know he wanted it there. It's going to be for this many days. Ija, and the insurance is going to send a check. Mommy don't got to worry about getting thrown out the house because ya está viejita, or we don't got to move in with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You line these things up and do it right and bear the expense now.
It's an exit plan.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, we get these phone calls after someone passes away.
I mean, exactly. If I could just, I don't want to feel melancholy also as well, but I mean, we're talking about Sunset, right? We've been there. We grew up there. We've got family there. We still have family there. We care about everybody there, right? So that's why I had to put that out there. So please reach out or let's seek some other. There's options. There's plenty of options out there.
Right? And I know that a lot of the older folks that live in Sunset Park, that's all they know. So for them, they rather stay there and not have to sell and try a different area because they're so comfortable walking to Fifth Avenue. The bus is there. They're okay with that. We get it, but
they're not going to move.
They're not going to move. But okay, that's fine. If they don't want to move, at least make sure that your parents are set. That, put that house in a trust because, like I said, God forbid something happens to them, the hospital bills are going to be tremendous.
Oh, no, yo
And
tengo
what's the
seguro,
first
no,
thing?
no voy a preocuparme por eso.
The insurance is not going to pay everything, and they're going to slap a lien on that property, and there goes your children's inheritance.
Some sort of trust, blind trust.
Yes, I see that all the time. All the time.
There's many options. I'm not an attorney, nor do I play one on TV. But there's many options
But
out
we
there.
can put you in contact with people that can help you.
I am the resource, not the source of the information. So I have a lot of resources, and I've seen it, been there, done that, and I've helped people go through it. So if anybody has any questions whatsoever, please reach out.
And if they don't want to answer the questions here, you could definitely call us. You know, we could privately have the conversation. So
This is my last question for Team Mesa. I was going to say sell yourselves, but you guys sold yourself, so we ain't worried about that.
For real.
You said it yourself, Hector. Brooklyn is crazy, right? The prices and you know, they're buying, you know, pushing everyone out. So where do you recommend? Because Jersey's high taxes, Long Island's high taxes. Where would you guys recommend somebody purchasing?
I recommend
that wants to stay locally.
One thing for sure is you need to sit down and go and realize what your budget is, what you can afford right off the bat.
Because the last thing we actually want is for you to buy a house that you can't afford it.
Right about now, the rental price is increasing. Right now, some people are paying $2,500 for a 3-bedroom apartment in a brownstone when they can own a single family attached out in Staten Island. Okay, better yet, or maybe even further back into New Jersey. Okay, sometimes, like I mentioned before, there's 3 things: your price point, your kind of home, and the market's going to tell you where. We have Staten Island, which was one of the most affordable areas. Now is going up to almost Queens prices. Okay, prices are going up, but now you have an alternative, which is New Jersey. People cry and say, "Hey, man, but the taxes in New Jersey are too high." At the end of the day,
it depends where you go.
Housing is going to cost the same. Okay, a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, maybe a basement, whether the price in New Jersey is $250,000 or $500,000 and the taxes are $10,000, but in New York it's going to be $800,000 and the taxes are $4,000 a year. At the end of the day, it's going to cost the same. Okay, I look at it like this. All right, fine. You may be traveling a little bit more for work, but the quality of life is going to be different.
And let's not even talk about, you know, the people that be like, "Oh, I don't want to travel 15 minutes," but then they'll wait in Sunset Park.
I will tell you this: I waited half hour, 45 minutes for a parking spot, and still got my car keyed or scratched. Right now, if you're driving an extra 20 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes, you got yourself a parking spot. There you go. Problem solved. What's the issue?
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the information is here. You know, as you can see, this team, you know, they have the experience, they have the understanding, and they're able to explain it. And not only that, they're able to put you in the position where you want to be, which is purchasing a property, right? They have all the resources that you need to execute this dream. So if you are still confused as to what you need to do or who you need to contact, I don't know what to tell you. The Mesa team for Remax is here. And that's all that needs to be said. These people work hard. They treat their people, their customers like family, and they're going to get you in the best possible product that's going to suit your needs. So if you're, again, still confused, listen, go ask Fulano to help you with your problem, because this team right here is so well-rounded and has such a solid foundation and stronghold in their business. All you need to do is give them a shout and let them work for you, and you'll see the results of that. But more so, with our people from Sunset Park, the properties, and you know, I know we were speaking to this, but the properties and what's going on in Sunset Park, people getting priced out, it's a shame, because the people that are doing it are not from Sunset Park. These are foreigners.
That's the sad part.
Yeah,
I put a house up for sale in 54th Street. Needed work, and we got
25 offers.
We have $160,000 above the asking price with 25 offers.
Within 24 hours.
With literally, it's
Asian.
yes.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Politically correct way of saying.
Listen, I'm on my show, damn it. Son chinito.
You can say it. I'm not saying it.
No.
There's a new law. You got to be careful.
Yeah, for real. I think it's sad. I think it's very sad that, our neighborhood, is being gentrified. Outside of the Asian community, which had started being built out, let's say the early to mid 90s to now, they've generally stayed on the outskirt and towards the edge of Borough Park. They're starting to come down a little bit, but our neighborhood, Sunset Park, has generally been a mainstay for the Latino community, right? But you go there now, it's different. It's a whole different ball game, Yeah. And it's sad. But,
But I will say also, within the last 2 years, when it comes to the majority of the buyers that are buying right now are Hispanics.
Hispanic millennials, okay? This is our PowerPoint. That's you guys right there. So you guys give us a call. Let's get you prepped. And you know where some of the down payments are coming from?
Your pops and your mommies.
Grandparents are because you know what? They're moving them into the basement or the mother-in-law suite out there also as well. So Hispanics are making a big chunk of the buyer pool right about now. I applaud you guys, and the money's out there. As tough as the market is right there, I am seeing a lot of money come in, and I'm seeing huge down payments, and there's money out there. So,
you guys have a Instagram or any social media stuff you want to promote that also?
Yeah, give the audience all your socials, all of them.
All your socials.
129.
Yeah, not those. Social media.
Well,
the kids nowadays say socials.
Socials. All right. All right. So we do have a Facebook. First of all, we're actively on Facebook. So you can find us there. Hector Mesa, Michelle Mesa. We have our page. Please go ahead and like our page, which is Mesa for Homes, ironically.com. We do have several community pages out on Facebook also as well. We are on Instagram. What's our Instagram handle?
Same thing, Mesa for Homes.
Mesa for Homes. And so we're out there also as well. We're readily available. You see us here, the way we talk and the way we talk in here. This is how we talk to everybody, And
I will tell you,
we also have a YouTube channel also as well. So y'all can subscribe to that also as well.
Mesa for Homes.
The Mesa team of Remax.
We need a television show. We need a television show.
We need a reality show. That's what we need.
Yep.
We're looking into doing one.
Yep.
Really?
Loving real estate.
Loving real estate.
Wow.
I watch Loving Real Estate all the time in all those shows.
Wow. You know what? That's a great call tag right there. Loving real. Yeah, I can see that.
We thought about it because we've actually been doing real estate since we were 19 years old. We've raised 19. Our children.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling everybody your age, Michelle.
Yeah.
Yo.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I'm 70.
Raised our whole family doing real estate, and we love what we do. And now we have an amazing team that actually are 100%. I can't even tell you. I love these guys.
Yeah.
They're like my children. And I love them. They service Staten Island, Brooklyn, New Jersey, and Long Branch. We just expanded to Long Branch. So if you can't get a hold of us, our team members are more than happy to help us. We will never
be busy because we do have the manpower to go ahead and facilitate agents out in Brooklyn, Staten Island, also in New Jersey. So please, give us a call. Let us know how we can help.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined the show, you done effed up. We end of the show. But what I will say,
said I look great. So
I one question is I just want to answer one more question. What's a good investment, to flip or to hold?
Mm-hmm.
It all really depends on the numbers.
Right.
It depends on the numbers, right? So if you have the money to invest on a flip, then go ahead and flip. But in the long run, having a rental property maybe help. I know people who are Airbnb some of their rentals and getting some good change from it, not locally, but also in remote locations.
Yep. Right now, having a mortgage in this seller's market is real tempting to just sell the house and hit it while it's hot. Pause.
You'll be amazed right now that the available equity in the United States is astronomical. So and I know this is a question that everybody's been coming up and asking, will we face another market crash? I doubt it highly. First of all, there's many checks and balances in place that will not happen, that the banking has been regulated. And also the availability of equity in these people's homes. Even after this whole pandemic, where homeowners who could not afford to pay their mortgage and they went on this forbearance, and the forbearance now is due. And if they can't catch up on their forbearance, they got a ton of equity. They could just sell their home and purchase another one, pretty much. So there are options and solutions for every size.
We're never gonna get off the show. I just hit a light bulb with me.
It's a lot. So
crypto.
We could come on once a
What
once
about
a month.
crypto? People purchasing with crypto?
Well, I believe that's not going to happen. Yes, it can happen, but we already know that the values of the crypto has gone down tremendously. Maybe you might be able to pick up a hamburger and some fries. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, I don't believe it will ever. So that's
no.
Well, let me tell you this much. Crypto is going to be the new way. The value of said crypto may not be the way we see it now. It may not stay at those levels. That it won't, because at the exchange, there's no way that, you're going to have regular Joes walking around, multi-billionaires because they decided to buy, Dogecoin at like half a cent and they spent their life saving. You understand? It's the value of the crypto is going to come down so that it makes it, viable, if you would. What happened?
I don't think crypto will ever fly.
Well, it's the new way because, again, cashless society has been in development for quite some time. That's a whole other show, brother. Ladies and gentlemen,
a whole other topic right there.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Team Mesa. Team Mesa. Mr. Hector and Michelle Mesa of Mesa Team Remax. Ladies, I can't.
Thank you guys again.
For real, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you both coming on the show. You guys are part of the family now. Anytime you have something going on, there's some changes, as a seminar you want to promote, whatever it may be, all you got to do is reach out and we will definitely promote it on the show. So remember that.
They got to come back on for the selling.
Yeah, we got to have a part 2. So we'll schedule that, let's say like a month out, a month and a half to give people a little room to breathe. And then we'll schedule another show to do a selling segment. All right.
See if I could actually bring the team.
Oh, listen. Hey.
The team is a team.
Hi, body.
This way you guys can meet my team as well. And, and they could be able to interact with you guys as well.
Cool.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Mesa from Sunset Park.
Dream work.
Yes, sir. Listen, can you guys just sit in the green room while we close the show out?
All right.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thanks you guys very much for having us.
Of course.
Continued success, guys.
Woofa. It's funny because I was like, this show's gonna go for a while. Because there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. You know what I mean?
Think we did good.
Yeah,
it was really like an hour because we talked for like 15 minutes to start. So
yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. But wow, Miss Joanna Rios, I haven't seen you in God knows how long. Salute to Eric Medina. Jose Morales, you got wild jokes. Oh, look who's in the room, Miss Ivy Morales. We see you, young lady. Titi, I didn't forget you. And Mommy Doris, I got your message. Sending you love. So Sel, man, we got some interesting people coming on. We're gonna give a salute to the ladies. Ladies, pay attention. We have a very special guest from LA coming on the show. I'm not going to tell you who she is or what she does.
You got a big day coming soon too, right?
Yeah, 1 year. The set is about to celebrate its 1 year anniversary, and we still, man, that 1 year went by quick. It's funny you say that because I was looking at a video from when it first started. Wow, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was bad, but we here. We
That's
here.
right.
So we'll be
adjust.
celebrating.
I didn't know what I was doing either. I still don't know what I'm doing.
We're getting better though. We're getting better. And next week or the week after, we're trying to figure out which one we're gonna do. We're gonna celebrate our 1 year anniversary. But we have a woman coming from LA. I'm not gonna tell you who she is, what she does. Just pay attention to the calendar. We're speaking to an entrepreneur and author who's gonna be on the show. And so I'm having a senior moment. There was somebody else we had in the works as well.
We got a lot of things in the works.
Yeah,
we trying to save it. September, maybe come back with the rating season. Go, just we got a lot of people in talk. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, but we really appreciate Team Mesa coming out. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Stay tuned. Share. Go to YouTube, subscribe. We're trying to get up, to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So please do me a favor and just share with all your friends and share, have them share because we're really trying to do something big here.
And rewatch the show. If it's anything you want to, you might be like, oh, I forgot what they said. You could rewatch the show, hit them likes, hit them subscribes, and share.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we out of here, man. Time to go. All right. Be good, people.